Welcome back, friends. You are watching Tactical Enlightenment, featuring our 300 series. All of these episodes that feature our small but powerful force of war veterans face off against foes in a wide variety of scenarios and in ever increasingly more difficult situations. Alright, friends, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. This YouTube channel is dedicated to showing you Bannerlord battles, helping you with field command, and showing you otherwise interesting carnage and chaos in this awesome combat game. We're continuing with our 300 series here, and I'm trying to cause trouble here. We're in the Khuzait territory to the far east, and trying to make armies attack us as usual with our hardened group of warriors here. This challenge is essentially to see what the upper bounds are, what's the largest size army we can successfully challenge and defeat with our force of 300 men, right? Sort of mimicking the Spartans, right? Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery here. We are going to pay homage to the Spartans and challenge some armies here. So I have one army that won't attack, but there's a large Khuzait force that's nearby, so I think I can bait the other army to attack us. And what was I doing? I should have introduced our force here. So we've got about 40 companions. Incidentally, they average about level 40. We've got very high-end troops, of course. This army is cherry-picked from my very late game campaign. And now I'm just going to whittle it down to 300 here, because it wouldn't be fair, right, if we had 300 against this force that's going to be 2,000 plus, right? We wouldn't want to have more than 300. We want it to be as hard as difficult, right? As hard as possible. This whole series I'm narrating live. In other words, I'm narrating. We got a third army down here. I'm narrating as I play, which actually makes things even more difficult. But I have gotten better at this over the years. Over the years, listen to me. I make it sound like I've been doing this forever. Over the game years, how about that? I've been playing this game feverishly now for several months, and I've been live streaming, so to speak, for a couple 3 months. And perfect. We've been able to bait these two armies into a big conflict here. And this is 24, almost 2,500 against our 300 here. As usual, in a big battle like this, I'm going to try to wield a really fast axe. I'm going to need to do a lot of major damage. It's a shorter axe than I normally wield, but against so many foes, I'm going to give it a shot here. We're also going to play with normal player damage. There's no real mods that affect the difficulty. This is as difficult as it can get. In fact, ironically, it's even more difficult than you're probably facing in your campaign, because we have mods that helps the artificial intelligence upgrade their armies. And what that means is, instead of a bunch of peasants and lower ranked troops, especially in the early waves, they're going to have very elite troops. Both of the mods that increase difficulty are listed in the in the video details. So I've got a crossbow unit here, the 4th. We're going to be using them in a shield wall and a square as a distractionary square. The 5th is my archer corps. This is one of the keys to the battle. If you didn't see in our army group, we have something like 100 Battanian Fiend champions. The 6th is skirmishers. These are elite javelin throwing, melee, short distance troops. They'll be pounding the enemy with javelins. The 8th is my elite companion members. A lot of them are knights with 300 polearm skill and 300 riding skill. They're all in decked out armor. Of course, I've been playing the same campaign. I know some people have a hard time believing it, but 4,000 hours, the same campaign over the last 15 months. I have the luxury of being able to play at work. In fact, I'm narrating this at work. I'm a full-time firefighter. So our basic goal here, though, is to use this swamp, right? The tactical goal here. They're going to have a huge amount of horse archers. We'll prioritize killing them early. I've got everybody on hold fire now. But what we're trying to do is slow down the enemy approach here in this swamp, and then attack them when they're sort of disabled by the slowness of the swamp. In fact, we'll do some kiting here with the 6th and 8th. Kiting is where you strategically move your units back as the enemy's coming in. Here they come through the mist. It's eerie. It's almost like the scene in Last Samurai. So I'm dragging the 7th Cav behind me. We'll be prioritizing their cavalry early on here. Just trying to slow it down, trying to cause some casualties. I'm way behind them. I'm probably in a little bit too deep here. But I essentially want to slow down their units a little bit, cause some consternation in their troops, kill a few guys, and then let my archers and javelins and elite units do the rest of the work. Of course, I've got a very high polearm skills myself. My character's level 52. You know, this is... we've got lots of very powerful characters, but we're going to need them, right? Fighting this ridiculously huge army. I mean, they have like more horse archers than we have total units. So I'm going to have to behead some cons guards here. But this is going to be a war of attrition. The reason I held fire there, look at how many archers they have. The reason I held fire is they have, you know, 8 times the archers that we do. So I've got to be careful with our ammunition. You'll see me holding fire on there. But in the short term, the Britannian Fiend Champs and our other elite units are just lighting them up with bows. You can see the named characters getting kills. That's because they have like 250 to 350, well, 250 to 330 bow skill, right? These guys are our elite companions that we have in our army, and that's the crux of this group, right? All right, so their infantry's in a lot faster than I expected, so we're going to start peeling units back here. I'm pulling back the 5th. That's these the archers, the Britannian Fiend Champs, the 6th and the 8th, kind of curling them around over here. Now I'm going to try to push back these horse archers because this you can't really kite if you're being attacked from behind. So I'm just flying in here. All I wanted to do there is sort of push them away, and it had the desired effect, right? They literally, that was all it took, is just pushing them back. All right, now comes our concerted attack on the infantry here. I know I'm talking nonstop. That's because I'm trying to describe as well as I can all the shit that's happening. So I'm pulling the 6th and the 8th to the enemy's left flank. The 1st and the 5th are directly in front of them, and now we're attacking them from the side here with the 6th and 8th. In we go with skirmishers. The archers will be sent to charge. The infantry's coming in, and we're going to chop off as many heads here as we can get to. This is a very fast axe, and I have very high athleticism, so I should be able to do a decent Chuck Norris, or, I don't know, choose your modern-day badass. We should be able to do a decent impersonation of a badass here. Behead some fucks. I'm surrounded by enemies here. A lot of times they aggro on me when you start killing their friends. I don't blame them. It's good strategy to try to kill me. Of course, I've got to play a little defensive in a battle like this. If I'm too aggressive and I get knocked out of the battle early on, this whole battle's over. These guys need my my tactical assistance here. So I'm going to peel units back. We had the desired effect. We want to continue to fight this battle at range. So that blur of commands, I know, like, is almost impossible for me to explain. If you watch it, maybe even in slow-mo, it might be hard to see what I did there. I've reformed my army so many times in 1,000 battles that I can do it the same way that you type your email address. It blazes off my fingers, and 15 commands happen in like 4 seconds, and everybody goes back more or less right where I want them to. Of course, I make mistakes, but I've done it again so many times. How many times do you misspell your email when you're typing it, right? So we've got a nice little process here, but of course we're going to need it against this gigantic force. Very interesting. They have what looked like was archers up on that ridge. I've never seen a computer AI do something like that. It's good strategy in this case, except we're too far away. So we're going to take advantage of the fact that they're a little bit far from us, right? If the enemy's got archers just waiting for you, well, we're not going to attack them directly, right? I'm bringing the 8th Corps and a cav unit over here, and we're going to destroy or attack these horse archers. And we're not going to get in range of their archers. Throw some javelins in here, chase these fucking cowards down. I like to fly in like a fucking maniac, intimidate the enemy with some beheadings, teach these boys a lesson, teach them how to use a glaive. Yeah, you see, just juke that guy. Teach these guys how to actually use a glaive. They all have the same weapon that I do. Theirs isn't quite as nice, but they don't use it as well. All right, so we're going to conserve energy here. We're going to conserve our ammunition. We've got a good amount of troops left, but so does the enemy. I mean, they still have a huge amount of elite horse archers and that whole archer tranche across the valley. I mean, not to mention they're going to have reinforcements too. This is a huge amount of forces that we're fighting against. We're going to have at least 2 more huge waves. So I'm going to take advantage of this little hill here since the enemy's back a little bit. Anytime I can get elevation like this, I like to take advantage of it. I'm shifting units over. I'm only doing that because we had a little break in the battle. I would not do that, of course, mid-battle. Their cav is charging, probably because we're moving, so we're going to charge with 2 units and an infantry unit, just to try to counter this cav charge. We're basically protecting our men while they reform. It's a cav screen. Moving cav screens here into shield wall. They'll absorb a lot of arrows and, of course, block a lot of cavalry that's trying to charge our archers. Now we open fire again, and watch the darts flow. Watch the death spam as we annihilate this enemy. They're trotting through the marsh, right? These guys are trudging knee-deep in stinky water. Meanwhile, we enjoy the shore here and obliterate them with arrows. These horse archers remain a threat. I'm going to work on them when I can. My health is in decent shape for this stage of the battle. It's always a balance of whether or not to sort of fly in recklessly. You as your own commander, if you get to the point where your command is essential for battles, which is, I would say, the intermediate stage, you start to farce or pede. Oh shit, their infantry snuck in on me. Alright, we charge. It's actually fine. We've got our units in shield wall, so they're doing a decent job defending, but that totally surprised me. That must have happened when I was attacking their horse archers. Even experienced players like me miss stuff sometimes. So we're going to fly in here with our lightning axe. It's called Odin's Wrath. This is a vestige of my original character in the campaign. I trudged laboriously through throw some javelins here, through the smithing early in the game, just because I read you could get really good weapons that way. Certainly was the case, but I no longer smith, and in future campaigns I don't think I'll bother either. We'll just play with whatever weapons the game has. So again, stretching our units out here, it's a blur. I just moved the 5th, 8th, 4th, and 1st. I can talk very fast too, but of course if I talk very fast you can't even understand what I'm saying, right? So we're going to try to make this something you can actually hear. I'm going to play a little bit more defensive now. We've got a great ridge here. Our archers are unleashing just hails of arrows on them still. We are going to run out of ammo, and when we run out of ammo, I'm going to turn these guys into shock troops. These guys are way too tight together. I'm trying to spread them out a little bit. I've got some infantry that got overzealous here, pulling these guys back. You can see the enemy is still pouring in huge numbers of troops. We can do some flanking here. We can do tactically some intelligent things. Primarily our tactics now are down to using the flanks, trying to turn the flanks on the enemy, putting shield walls in front, and then following behind with our shock troops. That's really about all you can do at this stage, right? You can move your troops around, take advantage of terrain, but since we're out of ammunition, since we're out of javelins, we're out of arrows, we're really limited to what we can do here now. Now it's just going to come down to a war of attrition. We will have to charge their archers, because even though these guys are picking up arrows that land on the ground, we're still shooting some guys here and there. They have archers arriving on the battlefield with like full quivers, right? So they're just firing away. And of course, Britannia and Fianchamps, that's their biggest weakness. They have no shield, no ability to protect themselves from archers. So you see they're charging right now, and they're lighting people up, but that's going to change when they start to get to this archer line. I've got 2 different units in shield wall, so hopefully they can kind of duck in behind them. And I have a feeling I'm going to have to join these guys, even though it's earlier than I wanted to in this battle. In such a long battle, I was going to try to survive a little longer, but I just don't think these guys are going to be able to make the push they need without having my savage axed amongst them. In fact, right here, this is perfect. These guys are being overwhelmed. Let's just chop through these guys with some lightning, like a fucking lightning strike. Just eviscerate. There's body parts flying everywhere. And just like that, those guys are clear. So I've got a shield out here because we're facing a huge line of archers here, and I have very few options. I've got units on charge, and I've got 2 units in shield wall heading towards them, but we're badly outnumbered. I think what I'm going to do here, kill this fuck. Someone got to him first. Fucking asshole. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to send our forces into the archers' midst. It's very risky, and it's going to be very high casualties. But if the archers are just sitting there shooting at us and we're out of arrows, we're dead. So we have to charge these archers. We have to get in here The Last Samurai song just started playing. It's time to charge these fucks. It's time to at least kill some of them if we can't win this battle. We're at least going to lop off some heads. These guys are still picking up arrows. I'm going to stay low till I've got some heads to cleave. And in we go here. Try to break the enemy's morale, see if we can't finish this battle off. Fuck, there's a lot. It's just like a fucking tide of enemy. That flank just dissolved. I should have reinforcements. I don't have any idea. They're fucking lagging into the battle. That might just be a factor of us being out here in deep in this marsh. I don't know how much damage on my own I can do. I certainly can't kill 300 guys on my own. If I can get in here though and inspire the men, I'm fucked. I got surrounded in the marsh. I'm totally separated from my guys. Fuck, give me a horse. Yeah, it's a beat. At least they're not looters. This is exactly how it feels like when you get beat to death by looters. Well, ignominiously killed today, a failure. Of course, this is no shame losing a battle like this. It's a ridiculous sized force. 2,400 against 300. Even though we have elite troops, this is not an easy battle. So I am, this entire series, I am going to film these more than once. I'm going to give this another shot here. Oh, I've still got a few survivors over there. Let's take a seat here. These guys they're doing dipshit stuff. This is a classic example. These are crossbow. They should be all spread out and just shooting at these guys. Instead, they're forming like a suicide. They're forming like a suicide square. So I'm just going to fast forward it. These guys are toast. But we are going to give this another shot. These battles are sort of authentic, right? We're going to show you when you lose, or when we lose, and then we'll be right back with another attempt. All right, welcome back. This is Tactical Enlightenment, and we are doing a round 2 of this battle against this enormous force. I just have to process this same bit at the beginning here. I normally don't show this. In fact, I may speed it up, but I wanted to talk about a couple of the things in the 300 series. I've discovered a nice little option I have. After this battle, if we can somehow win, we'll probably lose. But if we win this battle somehow, I have another way to make this more difficult. I got to bait this same army back in here again. Show you all the same units, just in case people are skipping ahead. So what I can do is I can actually increase the amount of units that are on the field. I have a mod that increases the total number of units possible to 2,000. Instead of 1,000, it can be 2,000. It does include horses, so if you have 1,000 cavalry, it will still only allow 1,000 on the screen at the same time. But the current model, the current vanilla form of Bannerlord that I'm playing, only allows 1,000 units. Well, that's actually an advantage in these kind of fights for me, and I'll explain. When you fight an army like this, what it does is it gives you a ratio of troops based on how many troops they have and you have. So if it's a 500 on 500 fight, of course you both have 500. If they have 1,000 and you have 500, then what it does is since you have 33% of the total troops, that's what it gives you on the battle map. When you start the battle, you start with 333, the enemy starts with 667, and so forth. But what I've learned doing these 300 series, and I didn't know this before, is that it maxes out at 750 versus 250. That means even though we're outnumbered in this battle, 2,400, almost 2,500 to 300. I wonder if I can get that other army to join. Yeah, we'll just keep doing this. So we'll do the exact same battle here. It's another large Khuzait force here, though. What I'm trying to say though is if I use this mod in the future, instead of it being 750 versus 250, right? Theoretically, if the enemy outnumbers us 1,500 versus 300, we'll still get 250 versus 750 in the battle. Well, if I use this mod, I'll be able to make it so that the enemy, if it's 300 versus 1,500, it's truly 300 versus 1,500. They'll have 1,500 troops on the field. So they'll have this massive army all on the same screen at the same time, and we'll only have 300 still. So it'll be yet another disadvantage. In fact, it'll be what it would normally really be. Like if you were outnumbered in real life, you know, 300 to what are we talking, 1,500 here. You know, you wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't just be able to tell them, well, hold back half your force, let us fight the first part of your force, then you can bring the rest of them, right? That's how this battle is fought, right? They get 750 or 800 units or something like that, and we get like 250 or something like that. So it's if I use that mod in future versions of this, I will be able to make this even harder. I'm doing all the same things here. That's why I'm not really narrating it. I just kind of went through the motions. In fact, I don't think I changed out my axe this time, but that's fine. Both of my axes are perfectly capable. Point is, though, is that in the future we'll be able to try this mod in battles with the 300, and it'll feel a little bit more like the actual Spartans against the Persians, the Battle of Thermopylae that's famous, in which there's just a gigantic force bearing down on our force. So it'll be interesting. I'll probably start it after this episode. So very similar strategy here. One thing I do plan on taking a different approach in this battle is I'm going to be more aggressive. Last battle, I felt towards the end of the battle that I had too much life, and my units, they were kind of worn down, and it seemed like they could really have used my help earlier on. This battle, I'm going to be a lot more aggressive. So again, we're using cav squares and an infantry square as distractionary forces. I've got the 7th cav, that's my horse archers following me. And we're going to open fire on these fucks and unleash hell. Quote a little Russell Crowe. Flying behind the enemy here, behead some of these motherfuckers. Take out some nobles. And you're going to see me just flying in a lot more reckless here. I'm gonna fight a little bit like a berserker here. This character's modeled after a berserker. The true berserkers were warriors that wore like no armor. They were incredibly fast. They went into battle, you know, roaring. It intimidated the enemy. They like gnashed their teeth. They went crazy. They entered like a rage, almost like a trance. But of course they were highly vulnerable. So that's how I'm going to fight this battle. I'm just in here amongst their fucking cons guards and high-ranked horse archers, and I'm going to try to kill as many fucking people as I can get my hands on. I'm not going to be suicidal, and we're still going to do some tactics here, but I'm going to be a lot more aggressive in this battle. Alright, we're kiting back here. We're moving the crossbow back, and I'm going to fly in behind the enemy here and try to fucking kill some of these guys pursuing my troops. Moving the 6th and 8th. 6th, 5th, and 8th, all three of those up the hill there. You can see me just in here, just dealing blows with their heavy cav. Right? We're going to play this battle like our hair's on fire. Fuck you guys. These guys are chasing our 6th Corps, so we're going to just get in here like a fucking maniac and try to cut some of these guys down. We're kiting up the hill a little bit here, but once we get up this hill, we're going to make a concerted attack on this enemy infantry. My 6th Corps is faster than the enemy, so they should be able to get free. I just sent the horse archers in. Over there, there's a cav, not a square. Yeah, it's an archer square. Those are my crossbowmen. I put them into a square, defensive square. We will use them later, of course, if they survive. Now we send these units in. These guys coming uphill now face my 5th, 6th, and 8th, all roaring downhill, and I'm going to come in here like a fucking banshee with my axe. Fuck you. If I gotta kick you to death, so be it. Come on! We're fighting this battle with a little more rage here, a little bit more passion. Okay, they're working. Yeah, you see how effective that square is over there. They actually gave up. Their infantry is over there pounding on it. And what it did is it absorbed about a third of their infantry line. A third of their infantry line is now kind of barreling at me. And these guys are now angry. These guys are bloodthirsty. That's fine though. I got an axe. Come and get it. What that crossbow square did though is basically eat up about a third of their army and slow down their attack on our forces here. Right? It basically distracted and ate up a good portion of their units. That may pay dividends later on here. We probably survived that better than the first battle. Oh, you block, huh? Have a javelin, you bitch. My javelin skills are back. I had a stretch there. I don't know if it was a mouse or whatever, where I was just horrific with a javelin, and I've slowly honed it in again. So that's definitely going to help in battles like this too. Here I go again, right? You see me foaming at the mouth is a term I like to use. I'm just going to come in here, just try to kill everything I can. I'm going to play very aggressive until my health is to at least half. I'm just going to come in here and fucking try to kill everything in sight. Their archers are reforming, so we're trying to take advantage of that. Kill some guys with my axe. I'm keeping our units back, right? We're going to have a very similar battle strategy. We're going to let them come to us. We're going to behead some traitorous Battanian fiend champs. I say traitorous, of course, because at one point my kingdom had a lot of Battanian castles, and I've always sort of considered Battanians like the good guys, like on our side. So it infuriates me when I see them on the enemy. Alright, so we're peeling back here, right? We're going to use this elevated area here. Their horse archers are just fucking hammering us here. So in we go. Right, I'm going to attack these guys. We're dragging the 8th Corps. All those archers, once they get in position, they should be able to just rake these guys with broadsides. And because we kited, because we pulled our units back, that should buy us the time necessary to really deal these horse archers a savage blow here. I'm cutting through them. It's like we're harvesting the wheat here. And you can keep blocking there, motherfucker. Kill your friend. The 8th Corps can pursue them. In the front there, I've got... now I have that same division of crossbows. They're flying here like a maniac. I've got that same division of crossbows now in a shield wall, basically playing as infantry. Alright, we're joining the battle here again. I've got the 6th, 8th, and 5th here. We charge. Like I said, we're not playing defensive this battle. We're going to fucking bowl our way through these fucks. Fuck you. These are still pretty high-level troops. Kicking our way through Tier 4 troops. Fuck you guys. Still have over half my health. I've only had a glancing blow. I've got a lot of archers lined up here. I'm going to weave, and once I get in on these guys, we're going to behead some of these fucks. The weaving I'm doing there is not... I'm not doing that so that you can't see what's going on. I'm doing that so I don't get shot. If you run straight at him, you get shot in the face 10 times and you're dead. Yeah, now I'm coming to grips with these motherfuckers with my blazing fast axe. I got a shield now. Fuck you guys. Have a shield in the face. Now an axe in the head, dude. The 8th Corps is with me here, and so they're distracting nicely. I do that a lot of times with archers because it puts them right in the midst of the archers. And we massacred that wave. Time to get on a horse. Let's move this shield wall up. They've got archers moving up. It looks like I just got reinforcements. So they're coming down the hill. So we can get these guys set up. The flow of this battle is much better. We definitely have a chance to win here. It's still a huge amount of foes, though. In we go with our axe. Or with our polearm. I'm not about to start getting passive yet. Pick off some of these guys on the I don't know how that missed. Pick off some of the guys on the outskirts of the battle here. Let these reinforcements filter their way in. Pulling our units back here a little bit, let the enemy come to us. All these infantrymen. You see, I've still got a few infantry there in a square, and I still have my crossbow division too. It's weakened, but it's still going to be effective here when we attack these units. One more time, I'm pulling the 6th and 8th Corps to this right flank. If you can't tell, this is one of my favorite strategies. I like flanking the enemy. You can see my distraction area square there. That's the crossbowmen. These guys could throw axes. I got a barn door up. Fuck you. Now we charge. They're close enough for us to come to grips with them. In go the 8th, in go the 6th, in go the 5th. We've got an infantry division left still, the 1st. It's time to cut a path through this enemy. See you in hell! Into the marsh you go. Forces are pushing down nicely. I broke that cat or that crossbow unit out of its square as soon as the enemy left them alone, basically, and had them charge too, right? It's basically, if the enemy's attacking them, you put them in a square. If the enemy's not attacking them, you have them attack. It's kind of checkmate for the enemy if you can operate it well. The enemy's totally bottled up in the middle here. They've got a huge amount of infantry and archers, and their horses, their cav just arrived. I think it's time to continue this steamroll aggression here. Let's knock a few of these cav off their horses first. Let's go straight in here, though. We've got shock troops. We've got 8th Corps. Titanium Fiend Champs are still on their feet. These guys actually are still shooting. Oh, the screen is all green. This battle has a totally different feel. Time to drag the 8th Corps with me and fucking fly in on the sides of these enemies and do nasty things. My health has gotten to a perilous level. I knew this was going to be the case, playing how aggressive as I was. So I've got to be careful now, but we're close to finishing this foe off. Send the horse. Full attack. The screen is green, like as fast as it can print. It's like to the bottom of the screen, just green, green, green. The enemy just getting killed everywhere. I haven't seen a death in like 10 seconds. Move up with our shield. We're going to move aggressively right into this archer tranche here. They got a lot of archers here. Yeah, but guess what? My axe is way too much for you guys to handle. Going fucking berserk. Welcome to the battle, boys. These are reinforcements. You guys can you can join your friend. We'll bear you guys in this fucking marsh. Here's a huge press. These are low-level troops, though. It's time to fly in here and just recklessly try to finish off this enemy. They're either reforming or routing. Time to finish them off here. Let's get rid of this shield. I can move faster. A full berserker doesn't wear a shield. Fuck these troops. Yeah, you can block one blow, dude. That'll be the last shot you block. Unless they reform at the top of this hill, this battle is over. We get revenge for our defeat the first round. I think the main two advantages, the main two differences there was the effectiveness of our crossbow square, and of course, my highly aggressive attitude this battle. I don't know, I'll have to look at the kills between the two battles later, but I suspect I killed a lot more this battle than the first battle. But there we go. You know, I wasn't going to tell people generally, hey, this is the first attempt, second attempt. I did on these episodes, but you see, we're doing this and trying to keep the viewer, you know, at least somewhat in the know as far as, hey, you know, this took us 4 times to succeed. I'm surprised it only took us twice to succeed. Look at how many troops we still have, 120 troops. So that was an absolute ass whipping. You know, 2,400 troops. You can see some of my companions dealt out some death too, but that was pretty enjoyable, pretty satisfying to get some revenge. Those of you hardy enough to continue to watch to this stage, man, I can't tell you how much you guys mean to me. I'm not monetizing this channel. I'm strictly interested in talking tactics with people, talking Bannerlord, talking battles, talking history. I've even had some arguments with people lately. You know, we'll try to keep it friendly, but the community is what I really want. I'm an almost retired firefighter. I don't need money, so you're not going to see ads on my channel. If you do see ads, it'll probably be from Google. I don't have any control over that, but I guess unless the account takes off and goes crazy, there's no chance I'm gonna turn this account into something to make money. I'm just here to have fun. Here to try to help people dominate their game in Bannerlord, and here to cut off some heads with my battle axe. This is a nice output for me. It probably makes me a nicer person outside the game. So thanks again for watching, friends. You guys mean everything to me. I appreciate the subscribers. Please leave comments if you're interested in seeing more of this or have questions or whatever it is. If you think I talk too much, I already know that, but you can go ahead and say that in the comments too. I appreciate it all, fellas, and I'll see you friends next time.